OMG's, boys, girls, in-betweeners, we have returned with the final part of Metal Gear Rising. As always, I am joined with the lovely and the Airman. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing alright, how about you?
I'm just good, and this, as I said, is the final episode. We're just watching the end of the cutscenes, and when the credits roll, Dan and I are going to give our impressions and thoughts of the game overall. So, as you can see here, we've got a lovely newscaster just giving us a lowdown on how things have been going since Armstrong was brutally murdered by Raiden himself.
So, nothing of value was lost in this cutscene.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like, oh, God's in his heaven, all's right with the world kind of stuff.
Let it go, Courtney. At least Armstrong will never be president.
Yeah, so we're just sitting through cutscenes and about, the journey continues sort of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Now, fun fact here is that the guy here, Kevin, is voiced by Phil Lamar, who, as you probably know, also voiced Vamp in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Nice work, Doc.
At least he's still getting work.
I guess the world's first cyborg staffing firm is officially...
Just a nice little 6 degrees of separation kind of thing.
But where's Kevin Bacon in this?
Ah, yes. He can play Doctor. He's got the whole gaunt face for it.
With that one commercial, he could be Doctor.
This is kind of funny too, because he's talking about how they're putting all the kids to work, but it's not child slavery. We do not want to confuse it with that.
Of course not, that would be wrong.
That would make us bad people. No, we're good people. We put them voluntarily to work. And just remind them that they owe us millions of dollars for their cyborg buddies.
Kids will get a decent education.
But now they get cool cyborg bodies.
Well, I mean, they'll go like, oh, it's strictly voluntary. Well, okay, what happens if they don't volunteer? Oh, that crazy Russian.
Imperfect solution for an imperfect world.
We must show them our peaceful ways by force.
Exactly. Welcome to capitalism, kids.
Well, recent events have been food for thought, shall we say?
No kidding.
No kidding, sorry. It's just a happy ending all around.
New recruit working out.
Ah, yes, quite well.
God, Boris looks like such a rapist in that picture, doesn't he?
All their animations are kind of weird in this.
He's just got his arms around both people, just looking at them going, "You gonna get raped."
Second.
Yeah, okay. You make me head spin, you know?
So here we have Sonny, and this guy, I forget his name. We had a cutscene earlier in this game, which unfortunately got skipped, and that's creepy. Where Sonny first got introduced. So this is where she is after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4. She's actually working for the aerospace company that helped send Raiden over to fight Raiden. Raiden over to fight Armstrong, jeez.
Raiden's fighting Raiden? What kind of bizarre parallel universe is this?
Ouroboros!
For me see that ninja. Me never think I've been this kind of
Yeah, but no mention of Snake or Otacon.
No, I would love Snake to just walk by in the background. Just like no one mentioned anything, no one noticed him, he just kind of casually strolls past.
You know.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That would be so amazing.
Or you just see like Otacon in the lunchroom eating something as characters talk.
Jack the Ripper.
Or you know what, it would be even better if like Snake or Otacon or even Ocelot, they just sort of like, outside the window, their head just rose up, looked at people in the room, and then slowly descended again.
Oh, that would be hilarious. You're gonna edit that in now, aren't you?
Raiden, I know.
It's gonna be like in the ending of Metal Gear Solid 3, where it's got like, you know, the young Ocelot just sort of outside the window kind of thing.
Is a hero.
You know what I'm talking about? We have to, during the cutscene, you can look around with the camera and you'll see him just sort of outside the window for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. That'd be amazing. Anyway, that's it. That's Metal Gear Rising. We're done. He's a hero. He's the hero that we need, not the one that we deserve.
Of course he is.
So, given that you're not really a fan, well, I mean, you do like these sort of games, obviously, but you feel that you're no good at them. So, but what were your thoughts overall, having now seen the entire gameplay of this?
It seems like the over-the-top platinum style that I know and love, as well as a bit of the usual Metal Gear Solid craziness.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it is a great game, and it was a game which, from what I know, was made in less than a year. So obviously, I mean, it is very. I mean, if I had to like nitpick with it, I feel like the levels are a bit obviously pretty sparse. I mean, there's like you just run from point A to point B and just kill everything in between. There's not really anything of note in between them aside from the little poster things that there are only 3 of anyway.
Yeah, ultimately, I think it's kind of a mix of too serious versus not being serious in the slightest, so.
Which again, obviously, is like really a great trademark of Platinum, which you obviously see a lot better demonstrated in other games like Bayonetta and things like that.
Certainly not the Korra game, though.
Are we going to talk about Korra? Because I mean, I think we can finally agree that yesterday's episode was just absolutely terrible.
Sorry for the clip show.
Yeah, we're going slightly into Korra talk for a second. Yes, if you're watching this when it comes out, this is just a couple of days after the clip show episode of Korra came out, so we're obviously both very disappointed by that.
It wasn't horrible as far as clip shows go, and as long as you know the reasoning as to why they had to do that, you can accept it.
I assume it was just to save money in the budget.
Well, basically what happened was Nick was going to cut a lot of stuff, so they wound up basically doing the clip show to save some money so they could actually finish the season.
Yeah, fair enough. So, okay, so that's Korra talk. I mean, we can talk about the Platinum game that they made for that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that was a game which was just made for very fucking little money. I think that was the reason why it was just so bland.
That's probably the reason, but oh well, what can you really do?
I know, which kind of makes me wonder. I mean, if they were trying to save money for the series so they could finish it, I mean, maybe it was like I don't know if it was prearranged. Obviously, some time ago that Platinum was going to make this game or something, and they just had to follow through on it regardless. I don't know.
It's probably a little column A, little column B.
Yeah. I mean, the core game wasn't terrible. It's just mind-bogglingly shallow and repetitive. I mean, there's like 6 enemy types in the entire game.
And earthbending is useless.
Earthbending is useless, and airbending is broken.
Oh well.
I would love Platinum to do the next DMC game, honestly.
Well, DMC Devil May Cry wasn't a bad game in and of itself. It was just the story and the characters around it.
Yeah, I think we've had this discussion before. I actually really enjoyed the Ninja Theory reboot DMC game, even though I am a very big fan of the original Dante, and especially Devil May Cry 3. I think that's the best one of the entire series. I think DMC by itself is a great game. I just wish it wasn't called DMC.
Well, just in the grand scheme of things, it has almost nothing to do with Devil May Cry, so...
Yeah. And that's true, but I mean, it is like a great game, and you can tell that a lot of work and a lot of love was put into it. I mean, just by going by the actual art design and animations alone, there's a lot of work that was sunk into that game.
So ultimately, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I mean, obviously I love this game. I mean, that's why I played it. I mean, I think this is going to be probably my 4th or 5th playthrough of the game. I have played through it on the harder difficulty setting after normal, with the fully upgraded Raiden, so it wasn't that bad. But anything above that, like on the harder difficulty settings after what comes after whatever that is, I don't know, like above average, I don't know. Like, it gets ridiculous. I tried it once and I was just getting slaughtered, and I mean, there's challenge there, certainly, if you're a person, sort of person who digs challenge, but to me, this feels like the kind of game that you want to play to feel like a badass, that you want to feel like you want to run through and just slice everything up, not get murdered by every single enemy you encounter.
Yeah, fair enough. That's basically kind of the rule for all these types of games, and while I enjoy doing that, at the same time I'm not good at the technical stuff, so I can only get so much enjoyment out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I mentioned it, may have mentioned it in an earlier episode that I did play Devil May Cry 4 on Dante Must Die up until the boss rush at the end of it, and just said to myself, why am I doing this? I'm just punishing myself. I'm not enjoying it. It really just gets to that point. So, I mean, I like to play this kind of game to have fun, because, I mean, that's what I feel like it's designed for. It's not there. It's like, you don't play a game like Alien Isolation or Outlast or something like that to have fun. You have it to be stressed and try and survive that experience. Whereas this, I feel, is quite the opposite.
Yeah, it all kind of varies on what the game itself is.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's kind of my thoughts on the game. Is that I would love this game to get a sequel. I'm sure it probably will. Given how well Kojima received the game, and I think it sold pretty well. I don't have the numbers for it, but I haven't heard it selling badly, so that's promising at least.
Yeah, maybe after Platinum is now done with Bayonetta 2.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, do you have any figures on that? I don't know how well that sold.
Apparently it sold really badly in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was selling really badly initially, but I didn't know if it actually picked up after that at all or not.
I think it did all right in the States, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's, well, at least a little bit of hope for things. I mean, because the game was saved by Nintendo in the first place, so otherwise it would have never been made. And here we have the token post-credit scene.
Oh, good, good. Herr Doctor's
Ryan, I want you to join the Avengers Initiative.
Yes!
World Marshal's looking for a buyer.
Tony Stark's been walking around like he owns the place.
cost them a lot of money, huh? Not to mention killing their
You're in the Avengers Initiative, you're in the Avengers Initiative, everyone's in the Avengers Initiative.
program is finished. But
Hooray! Except Spider-Man, because he's owned by someone else.
someone will buy them.
And none of the X-Men.
These are in demand once again.
And especially none of the X-Men.
Fighting for reasons they don't understand.
But we will have Quicksilver, who's played by a different actor, and actually called Quicksilver.
No. Nothing.
What about that Reed Richards guy?
So,
Ha.
your mind is made? You will not come back.
Hooray! Raiden got his lower jaw back.
I understand. But then, what will you do?
Bum bum bum!
Well, that was a game.
That's it. Well, thank you very much for sticking through this and watching Metal Gear Rising with all of us. We certainly enjoyed doing it with you, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, you guys take care now.